Today I'm going to show you how to make some custom Easter tags. These are great for attaching to baskets. We are going to laser, engrave, and cut these using the xTool M1. Today's project is a custom Easter gift tag. I have a free SVG you can download. First thing we need to do is get some material. This is 3mm basswood. I have a link down in the description on where I get my wood. I always save my scraps, and there's a great feature within the xTool that's going to let us line up our design perfectly on this scrap of wood. So you want to plug in your machine, get it set up. I love that the M1 has an exhaust pipe, so I can stick it right out my window, and then I cover the rest with just some kitchen towels. It keeps any smoke and exhaust going out my window and not in my office. Inside the machine, I have these triangular prisms. This is going to help raise up the wood. So I want to space these out evenly and then put my wood piece on top. Once I close the lid, I'm going to take a USB cord and attach the M1 to my computer. Then when I hit refresh and connect them, I get this great picture of what my material looks like. So I'm going to select 3mm basswood, make sure I have that laser selected, and then I'm also going to indicate that I am using the triangular prisms. Then I'm going to auto measure. Now let's bring in the SVG. When you bring this in to your canvas, it's going to be all different pieces. So we need to take out a few and then group them together. So I'm going to take out this box around it. And I want to make sure that I'm cutting the egg and the little hole on the top. So I'm going to select those two, group them together, and then select cut. And you can use the recommended settings to cut 3mm basswood. The rest of it, I'm going to select everything and click engrave. I'm also going to group all these little pieces together. These are the engrave settings I ended up using. These work fantastic for this material. Now I'm going to bring everything back together, select it all, group it together, and size it down appropriately. From here, I can place it exactly where I want on the wood, making sure that I use every piece of material that I can. Now here's the SVG that you can download. Import this image, and it does not have a name on it. So follow those same steps, separate the pieces, set the egg to cut, and set the other pieces to engrave. Now down in the left corner, you can click this little plus button, and this is going to pull up a second canvas. Here we're going to choose a name. So I'm going to write the name Nora, and you have the option to choose your text size. Bold, regular, italic, and a whole bunch of different fonts are available. So you can play around with this here, set it to engrave, then copy this, go back to that first canvas and place it there. Back on this first canvas, you can just line up that name with your Happy Easter and your egg. You can move these pieces around as you need, size them appropriately, and then let's make sure we have all of our settings right. So the purple lines are our cut lines. Those can be the recommended factory settings for 3mm basswood wood. For the engraving, I highly recommend using a power of 100, a speed of 100, and a single pass. This is going to get you beautiful engraving. Place everything where you want it and then click process. A framing screen comes up. If you hit frame and then go push the button on your M1, it's just going to be a light laser that draws around the cut area to make sure you have it placed appropriately. Once that's done, you can go ahead and start the job. You can click start in the software, but then you need to go over to your machine and click the flashing button on there as well. And then just let the machine do its thing. It's going to engrave first and then cut your pieces out. These pieces are all done. Most of it's just going to fall through, but you might need to poke out those little holes that we cut. So I have two really basic Easter tags here that are customized with my girls' names on them. So now let's dress them up a little bit. I just chose a light stain, and I'm going to add some stain to the front. I prefer to use stain versus paint because the paint will get into the little engraving areas, whereas the stain is just going to darken up the wood around it. And to add a pop of color, I'm going to use some pastel craft paint on the backs of each of these. What I love about wood gift tags like this is I can attach them to my girls' Easter baskets and I can use them every year. If you're giving this as a gift to someone else, they can keep that tag as a little keepsake. So be sure to download this SVG down in the description. It'll say Happy Easter and have the egg cut out around it, and then you can go in and use this tutorial to add the name of your choice. If you have any more questions about using your xTool M1, be sure to let me know down in the comments. And if you like simple tutorials just like this, be sure to subscribe. I am here every week with new videos. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next time.